Okay, in this video, we're going to focus on the hips. We're going to do a drill called a hip pendulum. Really good movement to get the hip mobilized, but also to create some pretty good awareness of how the hip joint moves relative to your pelvis. A lot of times we see the pelvis and the hip joint are kind of moving together in some spots. So this is a good way to expose that and start to work on those compensations and make things move a little smoother. So here's how the hip pendulum works. Very simple. I'd probably start with holding on to something for a little bit of balance. You're going to lift your knee up and you want to think about the femur. We're going to be rotating through that to external rotation and then rotating out to internal rotation. We're just going back and forth, kind of like a little bit of a pendulum motion. Now, the tricky thing with this is sometimes you're going to see when you move your hip in a certain direction, the pelvis is kind of following. So we want to isolate the joint on its own. The way we're going to do that is we're going to put our hand kind of at our hip crease. When we're in this position, we're just going to notice if we go out to the side like this, this is where when we rotate internally, we'll see that pelvis kind of come up to compensate. So I want you to be mindful of that. Keep the pelvis level. And then when you rotate out, only go as far as you can maintain that pelvis still. And then the same thing happens when you rotate externally, the pelvis wants to kind of drop on that side. So again, with your hand, use that as a coaching cue. As you rotate out, keep it still, rotating in, not letting it hike up. And you want to be able to move that hip back and forth. So just like rotating axially, back and forth, nice and smooth. Then you can add more reps, more intensity as you go. But that's how to do the hip pendulum. Simply, you can do this from any position. You can do this from that flex position out in front. You can do it out to the side. You can do it across the body. And you can do it back in an extended position too. And that's where you can get more specific with what you're working on. So maybe it's a sport-specific position, or you're trying to improve mobility in a certain kind of position that you're getting into, whether it's a squat, maybe it's running, maybe it's a certain sport that you're trying to work on. Try to make it more specific to that by using that hip pendulum. Just find that position that you're trying to get better at. But overall, that's how you do the hip pendulum. And we'll see you guys in the later videos for more mobility tips.